You have maintained that President Trump never intended to leave. That despite all this stuff about contested elections and everything, it was just a game, but he always planned to leave on January 20th, 2021. And I've never agreed with that. But with all the stuff that's coming out now, when you see how conscientious the effort was to overturn the election, and even those fake electors in these states, there have been 5 states, the 5 states that were contested, Michigan, Nevada, Georgia, Arizona, and Wisconsin, they actually submitted fake electors, and of course that was encouraged by the Trump administration. So, are you now willing to concede? Yes, he did want to overturn the election, and he did want to stay in power.
Well, I think what I've tried to say to clarify is that he had no intention of forcibly staying in office. He had no intention of getting a military coup. He had no intention of, breaking the rules. What he was trying to do, like he said the day he left office, was that I left everything on the field. And I think that was his intention, was to leave nothing on the field. And from his perspective, and there were even 2 law professors, I believe from Berkeley University, I know one of them, and they wrote separately. And then after it came out, I was trying to get them on my talk show, and they went crickets. But before it all happened, before the election, actually, they wrote an analysis where they said theoretically the vice president might be able to have that wiggle room of count if they believe that the electors are somehow, challenged. And that was their analysis. So I think that Trump had a lot of people around him that were saying these things. And whether or not, it was true, he was going to wait until the very end and hope that Mike Pence was going to do it. I think Mike Pence did the right thing. So I think that he did not have any sort of legal room to stand on to push that back, because these were certified. They were duly certified by the states. And so from that perspective, he would not have been able to do anything. So I think that Trump, again, this painting of him as a tyrant who was going to stay in office through force was never true. That was never his intention, but he certainly was going to fight up until the end. And he did have a lot of people in Congress, more than 100 members in the House, who supported to challenge this. So I think that, and again, that process is in the Constitution. It's not illegal. It's not traitorous. It's not seditious. It's in the Constitution that you could challenge these electors. So that is perfectly above board. And I think that there's been a lot of rhetoric and, again, a lot of confusion. People who assaulted the Capitol on January 6th, those people were traitors, and they were rejecting this legal process. And so I think, to separate those is very important. But I think that at the end of the day, Trump left. He left peacefully. He transferred power, and the republic still lives.
Well, again, the people on January 6th were egged on by Trump. One of the great, ruses is people say they make that one quote about how he said demonstrate peacefully, but he also said we're not going to take back our country without strength. And again, it was outrageous things like calling up the Secretary of State and asking him basically to change the vote. So I guess my simple question to you is yes or no. Do you think Donald Trump was trying to overturn the election?
I think he had a lot of questions about what happened. So
is that a yes?
I think he was concerned. No, it's not a yes. I think it's he had a lot of questions about the process, about whether it was legal.
So is that a no?
Those questions are legal. You can ask those questions. In fact,
I'm just asking. Either he did or he didn't. And I think a lot of people on the right don't want to commit to it because they feel it's going to, hurt them in that ecosystem or the waters they swim in or whatever. And I think that he clearly wanted to overturn the election. And the reason that he didn't do a lot of things was because people all around him threatened to quit. That when Jeffrey Clark, who was acting attorney general, was going to send out letters to states saying that there were questions about the vote and to hold off on certifying, Trump was all for it, but it was only when the entire Justice Department threatened to quit that he backed off. So, I don't know I think it's a pretty clear yes or no answer, but it doesn't seem like you want to give a yes or no.
Well, I think from his perspective, it wasn't about overturning. It was about rectifying. So that's the nomenclature debate that he would say. And the ability to ask questions.
Okay. I think rectifying.
No,
is the
but
same
from
as
his
overturning,
perspective,
though. I think the evidence is clear.
but he
I
would
think
say,
the evidence
well,
is clear. And he still wants to. He still wants to. I mean, he still would do it. But anyway, well, that one I guess we'll just have to agree to disagree. But anyway, well, another great session on Practically Political. It's so great to have you with us, and we will see you next time. Have a great week.
bye.